It is my great pleasure to welcome everyone participating in the International Electric Vehicle Expo. My name is Daniel Cho from Shinhan Bank, and I'm here to help those who want to invest in Korea. I'm glad to witness there are so many people participating in this expo despite COVID-19, and also in gratitude of the technology that brought us together today. Before talking about how to invest in Korea, I would like to introduce the Shinhan Financial Group and Shinhan Bank. Then I will talk about how to invest in Korea. The Shinhan Financial Group was established in the year 2001 and have shown continuous growth over the years. By constantly challenging the status quo, the Shinhan Financial Group has the image for being a forerunner among the financial groups in Korea. As of 2020 fiscal year, the group's net income is approximately 3.41 trillion won, with a total consolidated assets amounting up to 605 trillion won and total market capital of 16.6 trillion won. The return on assets and return on equity is 0.6% and 8.43% respectively, and have around 30,000 employees. The major shareholders of Shinhan Financial Group consist of Korea National Pension Service, BlackRock Fund Advisors, Centennial Investment Limited, BNP Paribas, and others. The group has 47 wholly or partially owned subsidiaries in various industries, and it focuses on global investment banking, global banking services, digital banking, pension services, real estate, wealth management, and global market securities. Finally, it is ranked 56th in the top 500 banking brand according to the Brand Finance. As one of the main pillars of Shinhan Financial Group, the Shinhan Bank is a leading commercial bank in Korea with a total asset of 517.1 trillion won and 2.08 trillion won in net income as of 2020. The bank's credit rating is AA3, A+, and A for Moody's, S&P, and Fitch ratings respectively, and has 860 branches in South Korea and 160 branches overseas. The key milestones are shown below, and what I'd like to emphasize is that Shinhan Bank has been building its ESG foundations, strengthening its sustainable management philosophy since 2008, and has been a pioneer amongst the Korean financial institution by introducing the wealth management and corporate investment banking business. Now let's talk about investment in Korea. Foreign investors approach the Korean market in various ways, but there are three prominent types. Firstly, there are the strategic investors, which would maybe account for half of the participants in the expo. Those who invest with the goal of acquiring strategic advantages rather than for pure financial gains. Those investors usually make the following investment approaches. Cross-border M&A to acquire a company that fits well with their business portfolio, like how the Match Group, also known as Tinder, acquired Hyperconnect, a global video and AI technology company known for being the operator of real-time video chat application Azar. Establishing a JV to combine resources of both companies to achieve synergistic values and benefits, such as Apple looking for a compatible partner for its Apple electric car project. Second, There are financial investors, which I guess would account for the other half of the participants in the expo. Those who engage in business of making investments in an entity in order to gain financial return. Financial investors usually participate in paid-in capital increase or series funding, or even invest in commercial real estate. Last but not least, there are the multinational corporations, and they usually establish a company of their own or sometimes establish a JV. However, there is one thing everyone must do before making an investment in Korea. That is the notification requirements. If a foreigner or a foreign company plans to invest in Korea, they need to be aware of the two types of notification requirements. The first is the Foreign Direct Investment Notification, FDI notification for short. The FDI notification is for those foreigners who plans to establish a lasting economic relationship, such as participate in the management of the Korean company. The requirement for FDI is the following. Minimum investment of 100 million Korean won per person, which is equivalent to approximately 85,000 US dollars at the current exchange rate, and 10% or more of the total shares with voting rights. The notification must be made to a FX bank, such as the Shinhan Bank, and then the transfer of funds can take place. Second is the non-residence domestic securities acquisition notification, which is a notification for foreigners who simply make an investment for profit. The non-residence domestic securities acquisition notification is required for all other incorporations and share acquisitions that does not account for the FDI. Same as the FDI notification, once the notification is made to the FX bank, the funds can be transferred across the border. For those who want to take a careful approach investing in Korea, might want to take the second path. However, here are the reasons why investors would want to take the first. FDI companies receive incentives, whereas the others do not. Thanks to the Foreign Investment Promotion Act of Korea, FDI companies receive tax reductions and exemptions, cash grants, and/or location support. Tax reduction and exemptions include tariffs and local taxes for those companies operating in the new growth engine industries. Additionally, foreign engineers and workers who work for the foreign invested companies could also receive income tax benefits. Cash grants are given to FDI companies that create certain number of jobs or install R&D facilities in the new growth engine industry. Lastly, location support provide rent and tax relief in the foreign investment zones, free economic zones, and free trade zones designated by the Korean government. For your information, the field related to the new growth engine industries include future car technologies, information technologies, next generation software and security, next generation electronic information devices, bio-healthcare industries, robotics, and so on. Now that we know about the incentives, I am going to guide you through the FDI process. Again, the FDI requirement is an investment of 100 million Korean won per person and 10% or more of the total shares with voting rights. The process generally goes as follows. Step 1, FDI reporting. Prior to sending the investment to Korea, the foreign investor will first have to visit a FX bank and notify about their investment. After the notification is done, the foreign investor will remit the money from their home bank to Korea, which is step 2. Step 3, paying for shares and corporate registration. Once the money arrived in Korea, the bank will transfer the money to payment for shares and issue a certificate that acknowledges the payment has been made. The foreign investor will then take the certificate to the district court to file for corporate registration. Finally, step 4, foreign invested company registration. Once the Korean company is set up, visit the bank where Fdi reporting was done and register as a foreign invested company. Note that except for the corporate registration, the foreign investor or its agent will process the Fdi procedures at the bank. Now then, which bank should you go for the Fdi process? You go to Shinhan Bank. The following table is Shinhan Bank's Fdi track record. As you can see, over the past 2 years, we've dealt with quite the number of Fdi deals. 1,849 deals to be exact, which amounts more than $7 billion. Most of the deals include global PFs and required assistance from the bank, such as Exhibit A. An APAC regional PF required financial assistance in order to acquire a logistics center in Korea. Shinhan Bank not only supported the documentations for the Fdi, but also underwrote the structured financing for the deal to go through. Exhibit B. A global PF was participating in equity investment and required additional funds, which Shinhan Bank offered through debt financing. There are many more examples which I could share, but I believe you can understand that Shinhan Bank is a reliable partner who can help you through with the various needs that may arise when investing in Korea. Additionally, Shinhan Bank is in close relationships with 18 major law firms, 11 accounting firms, and 27 Fdi-related institutions, and could introduce you to any of them, making investing in Korea more convenient. When you plan to invest in Korea, Shinhan Bank could connect you to law firms that will give you legal advice or help you with the Fdi notification or corporate registration. Or when you finish setting up the company and start doing business, Shinhan Bank could connect you to accounting firms that could provide audit and insurance, payroll processing, tax advisory services, and more. The services Shinhan Bank offers to you is different from the other Korean banks. Shinhan Bank is constantly providing M&A and real estate investment information to investors and possible investees to connect them. Here is how it goes. Let's say a foreign investor is looking for a company in Korea that manufactures EV batteries with specific requirements. The Shinhan Bank will use its network to search for the most compatible candidates and inform them of the business opportunity presented. We then will relay back to the foreign investor with the companies that gave positive feedback and continue from there on. Shinhan Bank also provide additional services such as real estate consulting services for those foreign investors unfamiliar with Korea, project financing and acquisition financing for foreign investors who need additional funds, foreign exchange service for favorable exchange rates, and lastly, we provide custody service for those investors who need safekeeping of the securities and other administrative responsibilities related to the custody of securities. Finally, let us assume you've finished all the FDI process, established the company, and ready to start business. Which financial institution should you go start your business with? You should come to Shinhan Bank. Shinhan Bank is the leading bank in Korea and have much to offer for foreign invested companies. Shinhan Bank can meet the various financial needs a foreign invested company might have, such as guaranteed base secured loans, operational loans, standby LC, foreign exchange, and more. If the foreign invested company is in need for cash management services, we have corporate internet and mobile banking available. Furthermore, there is also firm banking, which is a more customized banking service available for companies with specific needs. Shinhan Bank also provides financial services for the employees of foreign invested companies, such as salary transfer overseas, credit loans, pensions, and even offer preferential FX rates. Lastly, as a foreign invested company grows, Shinhan Bank is available for M&A, acquisition financing, IPO, project financing, and much more. As you can see, there are many things foreign investors need to prepare before and after investing in Korea. What I want to emphasize is when you plan to invest in Korea, remember to contact Shinhan Bank. We are here awaiting for you. Let's stay connected. Thank you.